Hello, everyone. Here with Mr. Maslow. I
Well,
wanted
you know what who Geezer is, don't you?
yeah, he's the
Bass
he's
player.
in the band, the bass player. He
I
wrote
just
the
want to
song.
make sure you know, because people are going to criticize you saying you don't know anything about Black Sabbath if they.
Well,
If you know the
I'm
answer.
doing more of the video to benefit people that have bought it and they're sitting on their hands waiting for it to come in the mail. The benefit, there's no real benefit for me living in Los Angeles when records are mailed out. But it seems to be that they're mailing this straight from LA because I got a notification last night and it arrived today by UPS. So it was very quick. So I'll rate every experience. I'm having Mazzy on here because he has this already. Yes. Well, you don't have your Obi. Where's your Obi, dude?
I slip them inside. Yeah.
And if there's a measuring contest, my number is 2782. Yeah, well, you got
that only designates promo. There are a lot of 0000s.
Promo. So here's my initial. I'll go through each facet. I have an OGUS green label, and I'll show the vinyl in a second. My initial thought is this is a really nice gatefold hard cardboard cover. So in the style of like Tone Poets, this might be better than a Tone Poet. Mazzy says that in the original, obviously in the US, no gatefold. So Mazzy, I remember him saying this comes from the UK.
That's the UK insert. Yet it has the US track list. And just to remind people, it's from the American master tapes with that different track on side 2, that open side 2. So,
but my initial impression is the artwork seems a little maybe muted. The colors are brighter on the OG US.
They're deeper on the US, definitely.
Deeper. Yeah. So a little muted. I don't know what they used to recreate. Yeah. Obviously,
but they're both infrared photographs, so they're going to be a little strange anyway. That's the same photographer who did the Donovan albums, the infrared style.
Okay, and then they decided against doing this, replicating the track listings and the credits in this box.
Yeah, that's
not doing on here.
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to go on initial thoughts. They should have replicated it. So that's my thought. As a person who has a degree in graphic design, that's my thought.
Let me make one comment about.
Hold on, we have another guest.
Okay.
I'll bring Harry.
One comment about, a lot of people are upset about the shipping issues, not getting notification. I think that's the biggest problem, is not Rhino notifying people. However,
yeah.
I know Steve Westman posted some things about 7 to 10 days from it would ship. And even though Patrick Mulligan said the next day it'll be ready. Problem is, if you actually count when it started shipping on Tuesday, it was 6 working days because of holidays in between. So,
well, I mean, again,
6 working days. Not to defend them, but they should have told people that. That's the only thing.
I haven't gotten any verification of shipping yet.
Did you ordered it, right, Harry?
Oh yeah, yeah. 6 a.m. that morning.
And I did it later. But again, I think the benefit for me is I'm here in LA.
I don't know if any Hoffman forum people from that thread are watching us eventually, but people seem to think that Rhino Hi-Fi like this is a small thing like Chad, and all the warehouses right there, and that's all they ship. These distributors, these facilities ship thousands of records every day. So they're shipping all of Rhinos and Warners and
we're not about excuses here.
No, I know, but they need to understand that it's not just let's grab these and put them in the mail.
Well, here's the deal.
Except unless you're Chad,
I want to talk about this and then the music. Then we can shortly discuss what they're purporting to be by calling it Rhino Hi-Fi. So it should be a no excuse company. So I'm not for excuses. I realize they got 5,000 to send out at one time. Everyone's not going to get it really quickly.
Did it sell out yet?
Yes, it sold out last
within 5 days.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the booklet inside as a picture of the tapes. From what I gather, is this a copy of the US tape or the original tape?
Well, that's the
It
good
should tell you
question.
in there somewhere.
I think. Well, the thing is, it's not multi-track. It's not the master. It's the final master that was sent to the U.S. Now we don't know, and the reason they couldn't use the UK copy is because Vertigo in UK is part of BMG, not Warner. That is a separate company. They'd have to license it, and I'm sure
Weird.
Vertigo wouldn't even license it. Now, why doesn't Vertigo, excuse me, do their own version? Why don't these UK companies do their versions? They can do it if they have
Can
the
you
tape
imagine if Vertigo did a reissue series on all their most popular titles?
on their tapes.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
We can fight about this later. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. All right. So I did one listen of this, and I did a quick A/B just to get a sense. So here is my OG US green label. I would call it there is some marks on here, but the music is nice and loud. I was so impressed when I first got this how well it sounded. Okay. And then here is the Rhino reissue. And it comes in the crappy, stupid black sleeve that's lined. It's a lined sleeve, but I rather they do like MoFi and QRP and whatever, and even Craft, and do these rice paper sleeves. So here's the stupid label. I wish they would do more an OG label. Not a fan of this. I do have the television reissue, so I do have. This is my second Rhino Hi-Fi. So and that television is great. And as I said, I don't know if it's that much better than the Bellman reissue that came out 3 different times.
it's different. I think it's not that it's better. It's different.
Yeah, well, it's not that much better, if not the same. That's my opinion. Okay, so my first impression, this is very clean. It's very clean sounding. Ozzy's vocals are nice and clear, and when he's singing, it's up front. But then when the guitar plays, that's kind of feels. When he's singing, everything seems behind him. When the individual instruments play, the guitar is up front. I wish the drums were a little more punchy on this. I will say this sound in a good way. This sounds dirtier. This sounds grittier.
You mean the original?
Yeah, the guitar has more fuzz to it, and I can feel the emotion more in Ozzy's vocals on the OG. This is very clean. It's nicely mastered. It's silent. The vinyl's not completely flat. But it's nice.
Mine was flat and quiet. My copy.
Quiet. But I just feel Harry's embarrassed by us. So I just feel on one lesson. Granted, you can criticize what I'm saying on my first listen. It's not as when I'm listening to Black Sabbath, I want to hear the fuzz and the dirty and the emotion. I kind of feel this has it more. This is on one listen. Now I'm gonna go down to equal level with Mazzy, and I don't know what Harry's doing.
Okay. Well, I've listened now. Obviously, when I made my video, I listened to it about 3 times at that point, and I compared it with the 2010. Is it Joe Marino? I'm blanking out right now. Who did the 2010? I found the 2010 Rhino. I found the 2010 Rhino really boring and flat after listening to the OG Greenie and this one. I had a different feeling, as I said in my video, from the night listening to it late at night than the next morning. I thought they were closer together the following morning. I do give the original a slight edge, and mine's kind of noisy too, but not a big edge. Actually, I disagree with you about the drum. I mean, especially on that track on side 2, the one that's only on the American one, the jazzy kind of Wicked World. The drums snap and pop, and the bass in the left channel is friggin' amazing on it. It's amazing on both, but it fell flat on the 2010. So if you have an original and it's super clean, you may not need this. But if you have any of the 2010s or the latest Rhinos, this kicks the ass over the latest Rhinos. That's my take. And it depends on the rig and our rooms and our taste.
Well, no, I understand that, and my system is nowhere near yours, but it's good, and I don't disagree. I just feel like my main point is the fuzz on the guitar on the OG is good. Is a better presentation of the guitar, and the new one, it's very clean. So I don't know, Harry.
I don't have an OG, so I'm not going to be able to compare.
What do you have any version of it?
2016.
And what's your thoughts on that one?
That's good.
Yeah, I think if did you order one of these?
Yeah.
So I think this will kick ass over that one. Maybe not over the original, but I mean, at least my experience. Mine's a 2010, which I believe the 2016 is the same. I think someone may be able to correct me. Or
this is what it has on the.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
2 album set, but
yeah. Now you didn't order the Devo, did you?
No.
Okay. Because I thought the Devo was the bigger improvement of the two over the original.
Yeah, I don't know. It would seem to me, which I don't have a Vertigo, if he used that as his point of reference, I would have to think the Vertigo sounds more in line with the US original with the fuzziness.
Well, I mean, Patrick, it's funny. A lot of people I know who are really into it, have the Vertigo, love the Vertigo, and say that's the one. Although I've been reading some people that like the American one better, and I think the track list is. I mean, it's only one song that's different.
Well, I mean, if all I could say is not the biggest Black Sabbath expert in my collecting their records are recent that I've picked up most of the Ozzy ones. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a compare video. I don't think I'm the person to truly do it. But in my quick AB, these are my initial thoughts. The Rhino is great, and it's sold out, and it's probably of the modern pressings, it might be the best one based on what Mazzy says. Harry can give his 2 cents after he listens. But I'll tell you this. If I'm going to compare 2 things, is I recently found a copy of Paranoid, the Kevin Gray cut from 2006. That's better than the Rhino Hi-Fi.
Well, they didn't do a Rhino Hi-Fi that.
No, it's better than this Rhino Hi-Fi.
It was a different recording. Yeah,
I know it's a different recording.
But I think it's better than the original Warner Brothers, the Kevin Gray, the one of the last decade, whatever.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if I'm comparing 2 Kevin Gray masterings of Black Sabbath records, that one, and I have other versions of Paranoid, that Kevin Gray is so good. He did not. I don't feel the same about this Rhino reissue.
Well, okay, let's compare. Let's go back. What was your take on the television? Do you have an original? Did you compare them?
No, I have the reissue that Chris Spellman did,
because I really like that. And then remember all that quote controversy about Fremer saying artists intent.
Yeah, I mean,
the Cars was a big improvement, I thought.
The first Cars. I didn't get the second one.
You have the Robert Ludwig original, Harry, right?
And I have the Rhino High Fidelity.
And you think that was a big improvement?
I really like the
High Fidelity. The original one sounds great. That's why I didn't initially get that. The television is really
the worst.
Okay. I had to compare. Again, they're 2 different records. I enjoy the television. Again, I only listened to the Black Sabbath once. I enjoy the television better than the Black Sabbath as just 2 reissues. And Kevin Gray did both, right? So
I'm up to about 9 listens of this since I got it about 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. But I've only compared it that first 48 hours. I haven't done, I haven't gone back and played the other one since. I just really enjoy this. I think our ears do tune to a particular one after we hear it for a while. And especially because my original is noisy, somewhat, not super noisy, but I just enjoy the no noise, That's why I like it.
there's a romanticness, I think, to the fuzz. You know,
No,
I think
no.
I think there
You
is
mean the noise or the fuzz that you're hearing in the guitar?
the fuzz in the guitar. Yeah,
Okay,
He
okay.
likes it's the muff.
he cleaned it up. It feels like he cleaned it up too much in the new
Yeah,
one.
I didn't hear that, but this is a funny thing when we have these kind of discussions, any of us with anybody, all of a sudden someone will tell us something and then you listen for that and you can't unhear it,
Mhm.
right? So next time I hear it, I'm going to listen for the muff or the fuzz or whatever you're listening for.
Right.
And
Or
it might be different.
people will demonize me because
You know how people they'll go on these
technical.
forums and they'll say, "Oh, at 4 minutes 20 seconds, there's a two like click things I hear on that song." Like, really? It's a 5 minute
That was
song.
on that Van Halen release. Everybody said on that was it Jamie's crying or something.
Or
That you could hear a click, click, and every one of them had it.
Oh,
Right.
Steve Westman? Can you give him a link?
okay. I'll do an invite for
Yeah,
this.
so people sometimes listen for trouble, or trouble,
Hold
whatever.
I'm messaging it to you, Steve. Okay, I just sent it. So, yeah, I can tell you that I did run this backwards, and this did say bite the head off a bat when I ran it backwards. No, you know that it's just clean. That's all stuck in my head right.
It's
how quiet is the vinyl?
Mine is dead quiet.
It's
because
quiet.
a lot
Mine
of these
was,
new, $100 records I'm getting are after.
Well, I tell you,
I clean them, they're not.
I think whatever vinyl formula they're using, I think it's much quieter than that UHQR like semen colored vinyl.
What?
Yeah.
Where? What?
The UHQRs has natural vinyl without the black.
Is that the Clarity vinyl?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think those aren't super quiet from my point of view. And I have 5 of those, and I mean they're quiet enough when the music.
You know what? To this day, the Japanese vinyl, whatever they use, that stuff is silent.
And I'm still satisfied with everything I get from Analog Productions. They're always quiet.
Yeah, well, not my UHQRs. Now the stuff that I think the regular vinyl,
the regular
pressings, like for the Prestige and all those things that Chad does are super quiet. I think that's quieter than the UHQR.
Well, I mean, what is RTI using when they do the Tone Poets? That vinyl.
I don't know. But that it really depends on the music too. Once it plays, you don't hear I don't hear any noise. But people like to judge between tracks. Well, fuck, it's between tracks. Who gives a shit, really? Right?
And hell, you got a TV between your speakers.
Exactly.
This isn't the cleanest.
I have this is Trump on trial 24 hours a day right now. Jury out.
This isn't the cleanest copy, but the music's so nice and loud. Yeah. I don't hear any noise.
That's. Yeah.
So
but I tell you, when the drums and the bass came on that second side, the beginning of Wicked World, oh my God, I love that, and the guitar too. I love that. I didn't think the guitar was pushed back or less fuzz. I don't know which track you're talking about the fuzz, but I like. There's a thick overcrank guitar he has on here. I think it's pretty amazing.
Well, I can tell you that if we're judging Kevin Gray and his mastering. Like I have kind of the first Tone Poet he did, which is not a Tone Poet. So there was a Blue Note box, the second box they did, where Bobby Hutcherson record's in there. And to me, in my feeling, that is the best Tone Poet, but it's not a Tone Poet they've ever done. It's the best sounding Blue Note album that I think Kevin Gray has mastered.
Hey, Marcella, you said the latest Rhinos. You didn't get these yet, right? You're talking the ones before? Which ones are you talking about, Marcella? You should watch her stuff, man.
Well, of course you're going to like it.
Oh, hold on. So here comes.
Didn't you get it for free?
I have 6 hi-fis. 3 I bought, 3 I got, 3 I got free.
No, he's going to eat a steak while he talks about the record. Are you at a restaurant?
I am just having lunch. I've never been on with Harry before. This is the first time.
Hello,
Harry, I don't think we've ever actually met, so this is the first time.
That's scary.
spoken with you. So hi.
You'll never be the same.
Never be the same. So, no, thanks, Rob, for inviting me on. This is awesome. I'm excited that everyone's, I think, getting
Hello,
a lot of
Ed.
shipping notifications. I know when I did that video with Patrick Milligan, a lot of people were expecting it right out of the gate, and like Amazon or like Chad, but it took like 5 or 6 business days, and most people are getting the notifications. And if you live on the the West Coast, like Rob, you have yours, and I think over the next few days we're gonna get a lot of reviews. And I have an OG Greenie, the Canadian version, which is the same plates as the US, and of course I've got the Vertigo, and I feel like the mastering choices Kevin made were pretty much in between the two, if that makes sense, which I think are really good choices. And I mean, I can't really debate anything that Kevin does. I mean, the guy, we all knows what he's doing. And he's done Sabbath before, and he knows Sabbath. I mean, he has reference to that. So I mean, all in all, I think everyone's gonna be very pleased with the sound. You say it sounds very clean. Well, maybe that's the pressing itself. Maybe because it's pressed at optimal. Maybe that's part of it as well. My original Canadian, I don't know, dirty maybe to describe. I wouldn't say that. It's probably just the vinyl as well. And mine's been played. I played the hell out of that one over the years as well. And even my Vertigo. I don't know many people that have a very clean Vertigo, and the Vertigo is very deep bass, right? And that's the thing. When we recorded that album, the bass was plugged in right to the console, and it was very loud even back then when they're recording it. So maybe that, I don't know if the difference between the Vertigo and the original is the bass, but on Kevin's, yeah, I'd say it's cleaner, but you really do hear the bass, and I'm really impressed with the way it sounds, and I think everyone will be really excited with it. I mean, obviously too, we're talking audiophile quality for $40. I think that's the thing. We're not talking $150 one steps or UHQRs, right? I mean, this is the thing. We got to remind ourselves. This is a pretty good deal for pretty good bang for your buck.
It is.
I'll have the roasted chicken with the vegetables instead of the fries. By the way, when
Dude, all they serve is the poutine and
Get the
roasted
meatloaf.
smoked meats.
I should probably, I don't know, we should get a free, this is a free plug for this restaurant. I should probably get a
What's
free
it called?
meal here. It's called, where am I? Mike's, what is it called? Mike's Steakhouse. I'm in Chilliwack, British Columbia right now.
Wow, not anywhere near home.
So Chilliwack, just a fun fact there was a band called Chilliwack from the 70s.
Yep.
So their big song was My Girl. So,
Gone
been gone so long.
Yeah,
and there's also another one called California Girl, which is another big hit of theirs. So
I would take, this is my opinion, and I'm kind of going to be an arbitrator. I know G. Valdez says, in my opinion, Black Sabbath is meant to be heard dirty. I think I don't think, it'd be interesting to see if people do that kind of, not bitching, but like they did with Talking Heads. Oh, it's too this, it's too that. I prefer the Rhino Talking Heads over the original promo I have, because I enjoy it more. I enjoy to listen. I didn't think this was that different. I didn't think it was as different as Rob. The only thing I think clean is when you get a brand new copy of a 50-year-old record that you haven't heard, and you get quiet vinyl. I think that is a shock to a lot of us.
Well, it is bassier. The OG's a little bassier.
And that, it might be. Again, I mean, we know from if you read the liner notes, Rob, I mean, how he plugged it right into the bass, right into the console. He didn't even want to do that. So I mean, there's a lot, the recording process as well. There's a lot of a lot of things that happen there. But I mean, I think all in all, for what we're getting, I think everyone's going to be very pleased.
I can't wait to hear a lot of people with different systems, different tastes, people who know maybe the record better, who has the UK. I'm looking forward to more.
And I have the Vertigo UK original, right? I have 2 different systems. I've got a Riga P6 with an MC card. I've got my Pure Fidelity Harmony with a Stratos MC. And I mean, I listened to my Vertigo. I've listened to my OG Greenie. I've listened to the Hi-Fi Rhino 1. And I mean, there's definitely differences between the systems. And you're right. And we always talk about this on my show too, right, Mazzy? I mean, in terms of being subjective, I mean, it could be your mood that day. You're biased towards one over the other because you know what I mean? You're not doing blind tests. I mean, there's a lot of different variables that go into this. I think, again, going back to $40 for the record, I think really good freaking bang for your buck, too.
That's why I said, after I listened to like 4 to 5 hours of this album through on the night I got it, the next morning at literally 7 in the morning, I listened to it and I had a different take on it. And I actually enjoyed the Rhino more the second morning, and my ears were fresher. They weren't, a whole day in use. I guess the room was quieter. But that's an interesting take on.
But if this is your only copy, you're going to be satisfied with it.
Oh,
You're going to
I
be
think-
very happy too. I mean, think about it. I mean,
For the
I don't
price, like you
I don't
say.
know a lot of people that are that have original Vertigos either. So I mean, this is a really good placeholder for someone that eventually wants that as part of their grail to have this one.
Yeah.
And I mean, my Vertigo, dirty is an interesting word. I think it's because of the vinyl too, Rob. And I think my vinyl, my Vertigo is probably a VG plus. I mean, it's a little noisy in places, right?
What's
Here's
a
some
clean
reviews.
Vertigo? What's a VG plus Vertigo go for these days? About anybody know?
You have to look it up.
A few hundred.
I'd say mine would probably be a few $100 at least, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think that.
Well, Steve, I looked this up. People already have sold this, and there was one for sale for 150.
Yeah. Well, what are the cars going for? 200, right?
I haven't looked up the cars one.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the
That's
thing.
a cheap car these days. There's an
Yeah.
inflation. People
No,
can't
not
buy
cars.
That's the used
So-
car, though.
No, I'm pretty excited that Rhino did that. Obviously, I pushed that for a while to have that. I mean, right, the Devo one, I've got the OG Canadian Devo, and in terms about it's just a cleaner sounding Devo album too.
Well, I thought this was, out of the two, this
Yeah.
was a bigger improvement over the original. I have an original.
way
one
more
that's-
clarity on it, and I mean, I focused
It's
on
just fuller. It's fuller, but in all the right ways. And
I focused on Whip It too because that was a song.
I tell you, I know a lot of people who are Black Sabbath fans. A lot of people skip this one, but I think this is a great record, and I think it's really good. So
The question is, why make them limited?
because that's what the Rhino was doing. That was their big thing, to have it limited to 5,000.
this conversation came up on the Hoffman forums in the quote Little Feet thread, because Jason Jones from Rhino, what's great about it, he kind of dips in and answers questions of people, and he's the guy that Rhino that works on the replacements and the Little Feet stuff, and people complained, well, why is this only records today? Why is that one normal? The thing is, economically, think of these record companies as business, and Rhino is the reissue arm of Warner Brothers, the catalog arm.
Yeah.
If they put something else like the Lowell George record, I mean, Lowell George is not a major seller. People hardly even go after Little Feet.
$5 record.
Yeah, so the Lowell George they put out with the expanded version, they put it out on Record Store Day, limited, because people pay attention to it and buy it. If it's out on Amazon and everywhere else,
We're getting a little feedback from Steve.
if it's everywhere else, it's going to sit in the bins for a year or two, and people don't have the urgency. And that might be a sales gimmick, but that's what Record Store Day is about. That's what limited editions. It focuses people. I don't mean FOMO. Luckily, okay, that took 5 days. Except for the cars, all the other Rhinos have taken a month or two, or they're still available.
But we
They're
all
still
go through this anyway. When we order a record new or whatever, we have to wait. So I don't think, to me, that's a non-issue.
People had 6 days to order it. Now that it's sold out, I know I've seen a few people commenting, "Oh God, how did I miss it? I missed it." Well,
Yeah, but we
6
do
days.
this with all of us. This happens lately, and I just want Harry's left behind. But Mazzy and Steve, I'm on the gravy train now. I got the new Chad, John Lee Hooker. It's his new Bluesville line that he's doing with Kraft. And here, look, this is, I guess, the first time they got both the analog perfection and Kraft.
Hold on, Rob. You're shilling now? Is that what I'm hearing?
Hey, look, the best of us do. You bought that though.
I paid for this. Yeah.
So I was supposed to get both of them, but they only, I guess, had this, and I'll do a little video on this one. So I'm very anxious to listen to this.
Now, when is that already released, or is that in advance?
The release date's next Friday.
Okay.
Now I got a question for Steve. If I know in July, Rhino Patrick said it's going to be 2 mute rock titles. Now I don't know how specific rock is, because I've been reading people guessing, like, oh, that's not rock. Well, I think anything that's not jazz is rock in terms of Rhino. I could be wrong, but like Tom Waits isn't rock, but if it was a Tom Waits title,
It's not Tom Waits, but think of more It's bands that you know. How's that?
Oh,
It's two bands
So
that you guys.
you know what they are?
I do, yes.
Okay. Anyway, it's going to be two 50th anniversary records,
Yeah.
two records
So
from
just Google
1974.
two 50th anniversary records that are owned by Warner or Rhino, and then you pretty much be able
And are
to
they
figure
coming
it out.
out in
I think it's mid-July, I want to say.
You didn't happen to watch my guesstimate for that, did you?
No, what did you?
Well, I showed literally like 10 or 15 records that it could be. So at some point it's on
Yeah,
YouTube.
but that's big of a list. If I held a gun to your head, which might happen Friday, guys. If I held,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what they are.
Well, give me your top 5. Tell me.
Well, I mean, I didn't say top 5. Well, obviously I said Tom Waits Saturday night.
Kiss and Rush.
Tom Waits Saturday night. Grievous Angels.
It's not Tom Waits.
Okay. Graham Parsons, Grievous
issued all the
Angel.
Tom Waits stuff.
It's not Graham Parsons.
See, okay.
You said rock, right?
Well, but those are country rock. I mean, that's the thing,
It's all country.
Yeah. Well, okay. What did I Paradise and Lunch, Ry Cooter. It's probably not that, but that would be one of mine.
Not Ry Cooter.
Okay. God, I don't have my list here.
It's easy. It's two bands, okay? It's not 6 solo artists. That's all you need to know.
Is it? It's not.
Deep Purple, Burn.
Is there a Crosby?
I can't say. I'm giving you hints. I mean, it's 50th anniversary. It's bands, okay?
Oh, okay.
I know the bands. It's not hard.
Here's a good question, Steve. Without you telling us what it is, will people be excited what these two albums will be?
Well, if you're a fan of the band, you will be.
Well,
will they sell out in a week?
If you're not a fan of Black Sabbath, you go, "Wow, I can understand them reissuing."
Well, there was no Black Sabbath album in 1970.
Devo, not so much.
I don't want to.
Randy Newman, Rednecks.
There's going to be no Randy Newman.
Good Old Boys by Randy Newman.
Not Randy Newman. Not Graham Parsons. Okay, it's not.
None of that like shit that Mazzy likes. Okay.
Where's your list, Mazzy?
Okay, I'm going to say
in video form. It's watch my YouTube video.
Leonard Skinner.
It's not Leonard Skinner.
That's MCA. That's Universal.
Yeah.
You got to know your labels.
Yeah, I think. Hold on. The Rev figured it out.
Machine Head.
Oh my gosh! How did the Rev must have some inside information? He must have.
Machine Head wasn't 74, is it? Only Burn was 74.
He's been greasing palms.
It has to be 1974.
Okay, I'm in line with Rick's, but Black and Black is not 50 years old.
It would be nice if it was Court of the Crimson King.
That's not
that would be. That's not 1974. That's 69.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Rob, Google a list of albums of 74 bands.
Oh, I typed in the wrong date.
Hold on, I'll do it. Hold on.
And then have the viewers have a guess, and that's what you do.
I'll bring it up. Here, we'll end the stream on this list. Okay.
Good, because I was going to leave. I got to get going right away. So let's get this list up.
Hold on. I can't. The Warner Bros. 1974 albums.
I'll tell you what. If it is Kiss, it'd be the first Kiss album I ever bought.
Can you calm down, dude?
We got Yes Relayer.
I don't know about that
one. We got Sheer Heart Attack Queen.
But that
He's Electro.
It's bigger.
He's not saying anything on those two titles.
We got Country Life, Roxy Music, but I don't think they have that in America.
Because Roxy, they just redid that through Abbey Road, if you recall.
Yeah, they don't have that in America. We got the Doobie Brothers, Once for One Vices.
Yeah,
no. But they already did a Doobie Brothers title.
I know.
Hold on. Supertramp. That's A&M.
That's A&M. That's not. We got Feats Don't Fail Me Now, but they're doing that as they're separate. That doesn't sell anyway.
I mean, I recommended Little Feat if they were part of Warner, just to.
Hey, Funkadelic.
Yeah. Little Feat is. I mean, I love Little Feat, but they don't sell.
No kidding.
If it's Funkadelic, that would be cool.
They're not going to do Gordon Lightfoot's Sundown because that's not a band. That's not a band.
Parliament.
I have the Gordon Lightfoot Sundown Quadio that Rhino and Warner sent out. Really good. If you like that stuff.
I do actually. That's
Yeah, your
from
wish came
Gordon on
true.
Trump.
It's mini Ripperton.
Now
music.
there's
There it is.
Seals and
Okay,
Croft. Is
on
Seals
that-
and Croft a band?
Seals and Croft, they just had the Quadio version of that.
Yeah, they
Seals
sent
and
me the
Croft album
Quadios
came out.
actually.
I have
Oh,
that
what-
as well, and
hold
it's a
Now,
pretty damn good sounding album.
They wouldn't do Eagles records, would they?
No, that's MoFi. They wouldn't do Eagles.
Okay,
Yeah, but
here's
it's
30.
still part
Here,
of WEA.
I'll just go through this list really quick, and then it'll be the Fleetwood Mac, maybe. Not Grateful Dead. Earl Haggard. Queen would be very interesting if they did it, but
Maybe.
they don't own the rights to this record anymore, right?
I don't
That's
know. I don't
Hollywood.
know.
Disney owns that, right?
Tower of Power. Back to Oakland.
Country Life. I think this one.
So you
That's
got to know
RCA.
your Warner Brothers. You got to know your.
Who owns RCA now?
That's BMG. You got
Steely Dan. Dolly Parton. Kraftwerk.
no, that's a different label.
What
One
label?
other thing, Rob, just so
Yeah.
if your viewers are wanting, if there's issues with their shipping on Rhino, they can just DM me or email me, and just give me your order number. I can get that expedited for them.
Wow, there you go. Steve Westman provides a service for you all.
Nice.
There you go. I got to go though. So Steve
Okay.
Westman at rocketmail.com. If you want it, just give me your order number if there's issues, and I will put it directly to the guy that's in charge of all orders for Rhino.
It's only rock and roll, Rolling Stones.
Well, you guys talk about it.
Okay.
If you give me a little bit more money, maybe we can. I'll give you the
Okay.
two.
Yeah, at least like
Don't
buy
be
you
aggressive.
lunch.
Oh, tomorrow I'm plugging my show tomorrow, Rob. I'm having the Jazz Bums on. Steve Westman meets the Jazz Bums tomorrow at 7:00 PST
Well-
Pacific Standard Time.
Well, I hope you can keep awake through the whole interview, Steve.
It's not. No. It's not an interview. I'm not interviewing. We're chatting rock and jazz albums and some other fun stuff as well. Maybe we'll talk Sabbath. We'll see.
Okay. Thanks for
All
coming
right.
on, Steve.
Yeah, it was
Enjoy
awesome.
your
See you,
meal.
Steve.
You guys have a really good rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update.
too.
Bye.
Anyway,
Okay.
I
I
ultimately,
don't
I
have
think
much time, but
this is successful. Now, whether you like it or not, what do you compare it to? It'll be interesting to hear more comparisons.
well,
Wouldn't
I-
be any Columbia titles though, because Columbia is not involved with
No
Rhino.
Columbia, no, and a lot of bands aren't part of them anymore. Like I think Roxy is not anymore. I could be wrong. Well, maybe Roxy is.
like Queen is owned by Hollywood Records. They bought the whole.
Did they buy the whole catalog? See,
Yeah, they did that back in the 90s.
You know,
I
it
think.
used to be Warner, Elektra, Atlantic, and
Right.
you know, I doubt it'll be Atlantic stuff because
I
Atlantic's
thought it
doing
was
their own
Warner
70.
Electra
You know what?
Asylum.
I'm going to put my vote in for this. It's Funkadelic. And if it was Funkadelic in the Parliament
No,
records,
because
that would be awesome.
Harry, it's Warner Electra Atlantic. That's what WEA stands for. But Elektra is Electra Asylum. So there's these sub labels. Yeah.
You know, because the rumor is that they're going to reissue Maggot Brain as an audiophile release, or at least
that'd be
analog.
nice.
That comes out the end of the, from what I understand, at least the end of the year at the earliest.
Right.
Who's doing it?
Whoever owns the rights to Westbound.
Yeah, they got there's
They
a whole
count
thing
tapes.
they're going to do the whole catalog, supposedly analog. But I thought years ago they said they lost those tapes of Maggot.
Well, they kept putting out digital versions of the album, but there is a bunch of Warner Brothers Funkadelic records.
Yeah,
and I've actually have some that I've found recently, and it would be I think it would be a smart idea to do that one.
Yeah.
So, all right,
I
I appreciate you guys coming by. I have to run to work too.
Oh, I gotta go. This guy's stalking me everywhere I go. This Angelo Kelly guy shows.
you know, he just texted me what the next two records are. They're putting out the one of.
You know what? Usually Harry's
perfect.
Harry's the one who leaves quickly without saying anything. All right, guys,
that
thank
was
you.
good. Bye.
Right, take care. Bye.